Hi guys, my name is Temi or Temi, and like I said it wrong both times. And I did a study abroad at the Technical University of Munich or TUM.
Hello, welcome to Materials and me. Materials being the study of stuff and me being Erie. Excellent. Anyway, yeah, so this is Temi or Temi, whatever you want to call her. Okay, so Temi, why did you do a study abroad? Obviously, I did a year in industry. So like, what made you want to do a study abroad instead?
Because I really like to travel already. So I just thought, like, how cool would it be to be a student abroad? And when I was in secondary school, we had like the opportunity to do some exchanges, and they were just 1 week. And after that experience as well, it's like, yeah, this is really cool. You explore a new culture, you meet new people, and you have the freedoms of being a student and not working.
Like, of all the places to go to, like, why did you choose to go to Germany? Because, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, was that your first choice?
It seems random. It was not my first choice. I actually wanted to go to East Asia, but it was like COVID time at the time I was applying. So they were like, we're not accepting students, basically. So then after that, like, that was my whole dream. Like, sorry, because from following on from the first question, like, why did I want to do a study abroad? I also always thought I would live in China, like at least for like 10 years or something in the future. Like, I wanted to live in China for quite a while. So I thought this would be a really good test. Like, oh my gosh, see how I adapt to the civilization, civilization, society, the
Yeah.
community, etc. Basically, all my hopes got dashed.
Yeah.
So then I was looking at the list. A lot of them were like European. I think there was some South American because you had to choose America or the rest of the world, and I think Australia was also a separate category. So I had chosen the rest of the world. So those two places are like not in my options. I was just looking at them. I think I looked at like league tables. Out of all the places, I was like, I really just can't see myself going there. And Germany somehow ended up at the top of the list.
The next question is, were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. I did have a lot of apprehension,
Mhm.
but it wasn't necessarily because of the university I was going to or the country that I was going to. First of all, I have actually been to Germany before, so this wasn't my first time in the country.
Mhm.
My real hesitation was like more from a religious standpoint, like being a Christian. Like, I really wanted to make sure like this was God's will and it wasn't just me doing something because I wanted to. Like, I really wanted to be like in alignment, and I wasn't sure basically. So
Because obviously we do materials here, but it's a study abroad. Like I'm assuming you can try new things, and the structure isn't as rigid as the UK. Like is that like could you have just done materials or like what modules did you do?
right. So I feel like it's best for me to explain that I joined the aerospace department.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So in my application, I did actually state I wanted to try something different compared to what we do at Sheffield. The modules themselves, I had to take 50% from the department and then I could take 50% from wherever else I wanted. So it was kind of down to me, like, there was no regulations from our department as well on what I should take, like at all actually. So I took some materials modules within the aerospace department, and then I also took some other aerospace modules from outside of the department.
Okay.
So materials, not aerospace.
I guess how different was it? Like, would you say it's harder, like studying in Germany compared to the UK?
Is it harder? Yes. But okay, I'm not the most organized or like dedicated student.
Right.
I think,
Do you want to say that to like the world?
yeah, that's fine, 100%. I have no shame. The thing about the system in Germany, the way I find it is, I feel it's less organized in my opinion. Like there's so much structure here in Sheffield and in the UK. I feel like they just have less structure there. There's a lot more information. I feel like the objectives, the targets are not as clear. I think it's harder to know exactly what it is that you need to learn. But I think if you're trying to be holistic and you're very interested in what you're studying, I think it would benefit you because there's a lot to discover and the
So you think it's more packed?
more detailed,
Okay.
less straight to the point. Like, this is what
Okay,
you need
okay,
to
okay. Were you scared about how what's the modules? Okay, okay. Okay, so like on the obviously non-academic side of it, like obviously I know you because you're
Yeah.
my friend, and I
Yeah.
know you're a bit introverted. So, were you worried about like making friends and like finding your people when
Okay.
you were on your study abroad?
No. I feel like I was actually, I don't know if it was because I wasn't thinking about it, because like I was consumed with like, have I made the right decision
Mm.
doing a study abroad? I feel like I wasn't even really thinking about the other realities of living there, to be
First,
honest.
first, first, first.
Maybe because it doesn't bother me to be alone. I guess the
Mm.
idea if I didn't even find my people or my friends didn't even, I was like, I'll be okay.
First, first, first.
I don't know. Yeah, like it's never something I've ever like been concerned about, so it didn't really feature.
So, on the thing of like, what do you wish you knew? Like you said, you didn't really consider like whether or not you make friends. So it
Yeah.
wasn't something you were scared about per se. But like, were there things that you were like, oh my gosh, I really should have researched this, or like, I wish I did this while I was there, or like, do you have what do you wish you knew, or like, do you have any regrets, that kind of thing?
Okay, I think what I wish I did know was like, for example, like I said, like I'm the kind of person I could actually be alone for long periods of time and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
usually affect me. But at the end of the day, we are still human. Like
Put the mic closer.
we are all
Actually, maybe
still.
not too close. Maybe not too close. Continue
It's
talking.
okay, it's okay. We are all still human, and
Mm.
it's like we do need that human social interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
And compared to when you're like being an introvert where you come from,
Mm.
when you move to a whole new country, you really don't know anybody. Like, there's no family, there's no like, I don't know, like, I didn't even live like, with housemates. I
Mm.
really wasn't seeing anybody. So, if you feel like loneliness is an issue for you, or like you feel that you really need like to be around people and that stuff, like everything gets heightened. I feel
Mm.
like once you go and move abroad and like you're alone, um feel be prepared to be like responsible and to like really take charge of things as well. Like, I felt like I was starting to do things myself a lot that usually I'd rely on my parents to do: banking, immigration stuff, like, like
I went to
passports,
visit Temi.
travel, like.
Wait, I went to visit Temi, and she was currently trying to figure out like her bank details and whatever, and she was so frustrated because, well, we'll get to this, but basically, Temi never learned German, so they give her these bank details, and half of the document is in German, and she has no clue what it says.
Yeah.
So she doesn't even know if she can sign it. It was actually funny. I already kind of exposed you, but they speak German in Germany.
Of course.
I know quite a few people who want to do study abroad or have done study
Mhm.
abroad to sort of like,
Build their language
develop their
skills.
language
Yeah,
skills.
it's a
You
great
did
opportunity
German
to do that.
GCSEs.
Hmm.
Did you practice German while you were there?
Basically, no. I have to say it was useful. Like having done GCSE German was very useful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like for the most part, I had an idea of what signs are talking about, maps, even like in the grocery store, especially trying to understand what the different food products are, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, Even sometimes broken German, like if you like really have to, because sometimes like Munich is a very international city, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I got away with not having to learn German. But there were still some people who didn't speak English or
Oh,
their
fair,
English was
fair,
very
fair.
bad. So
Like
I
your German.
basically, or worse, there were just some people they
No English.
yeah.
First, first, first.
Uh, so what was the question
But
again?
all the classes were like in.
In English. In fact, it made choosing modules difficult. There were a lot of modules I wanted to do, but they weren't holding them in English,
Oh,
so
first,
I had
first.
to.
I don't know. What would you say like were like the three highlights of your study abroad?
Highlight. I feel like the number one that comes to mind is my baptism.
Oh,
I know, I have to say
first,
it's
first, first,
definitely the
first.
highlight. No, you coming to visit me was actually also a really big highlight. I think especially because we didn't just stay like in Munich. We also went to
Mm,
Salzburg, in Austria. That
mm,
was really fun.
yeah. No,
Like,
no, like when I visited to me, like
but,
it was my first time in Germany. So it was really
I
like,
actually didn't know
oh
that.
yeah, it was my first time in Germany. So like I didn't see much of Munich because, like Temi said, we booked a day trip to Austria to go and look at some Christmas markets. And
Yeah,
then we climbed up some hill to see some views or whatever.
yeah, some
Um,
castle as
yeah,
well.
and so it was actually quite nice. But I saw Austria when I went to Germany.
Yeah,
And then the next day I was there for we literally just signed her room talking and
yeah.
catching up. and then we then went out for a burger. So I've eaten in Germany, but all I saw there was like darkness. It was at night that we came out. So the highlights, can we just cap for everybody? The highlights was your baptism,
Yes.
me coming,
You coming.
and then one more thing.
One more.
It can be two. Those are your two highlights. Except none of them have to do with Germany.
Can I say like the whole summer period?
Okay. So summer in Munich.
Yeah, like
Yes.
it was so good. And I think also by that point, like I had like, you know, before you were asking about community and stuff, like I said, I can do well on my own, but social stuff, like then finding people that you really get on with, that like you can talk about things, especially because it was church community, like was so good.
Okay. So you did make friends.
Yeah.
Great,
Great. In case you were wondering.
So Temi wants to add to her regrets. What's the regrets you want to add?
Basically, not learning German was actually a major regret.
Yes.
Learning another language, it's such a major skill and like asset, I feel like. And then getting to spend a whole year in another place, like if you have that opportunity, like take it. You might not get that again, and it's actually quite valuable, you know. So I want to put
Learn languages.
learn languages.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what else was I gonna ask you? Oh yeah. Tell them about the knocking thing.
Right. One of the really cool
You don't have
things-
the mic up.
one of the really cool, one of the really cool things in German universities is like how they do applause and the fact that they even do it. So like when the lecture is finished, I guess it's to show appreciation for your lecturer, or even when you give a presentation, to give applause. You
Like even the students.
Yeah, because I gave a presentation, other people did too, and after each person they like knock the table.
My last question to you, Temi. Actually, was it 12 months? A school year in Germany.
Just under 12, yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
Why?
I have to say it's been one of the best years of my life because, yeah, honestly, it was one of the best years of my life because I feel like I learned so much about myself. Like there was just so much personal growth that happened. I felt like I feel like when you're removed from your environment, like all the people that can help you, like you are forced to come out of your comfort zone, do things that you wouldn't do. You meet people you wouldn't do, like.
Huh? You meet people you wouldn't
you do things you wouldn't do.
Okay. Good things.
Good things. And I feel like a lot of the reason is also down to the people that I met. So I met a lot of people who were actually not students and were much older than me. And just like when you listen to them, their life stories, things that happened in their lives at that moment, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I felt like I changed in some imperceptible way. Like I felt different about myself. I felt more comfortable in my own skin afterwards. And just like, honestly, strangely, I feel like I felt more confident too. Like having done all of this stuff, it's like, wow, like a new side for myself to see. I don't know, yeah.
Did uni help with like, I don't know, do they like advise you on like where to stay or like the accommodation, or was it completely independent? Like you found where you're gonna live yourself and all that?
Yeah, so like once you go on the study abroad, it's like you kind of become their student. So yes, I can talk to like our representative here, but it's more about like welfare and well-being. Everything else is basically dealt with by TUM or by your partner university, and they did have like a booklet and stuff with lots of information and stuff like that. But I only got that when I went there. So before that, I had already done my own research and stuff. I think they actually had sent out an email with more information, things to do, that kind of stuff. But I'd already done that research before. So.
And so like also, did you do a lot of sightseeing while you were there?
No.
Like did you travel? No? You didn't leave Munich?
No. Apart from this one place called Landshut, and that is not very far from Munich. So I don't really count that, but technically yes, that's the only place I went outside of Munich, apart from when we went to Austria. And I did actually go one more time as well, some other people. I had schnitzel for the first time. It was good.
Nice.
And I kind of regret it, but it's also because I spent all my money on takeaways. So, like, it's not like I couldn't. I was bad at money management.
Is there anything else you want to say?
If you have the opportunity to do a study abroad, I would say do it. Or do you know what? Best of both worlds. Do a year in industry abroad. Why not?
Yeah, try doing a year in industry abroad, but wouldn't that be a lot?
Why?
Cause like, okay, first, never mind. But then I think then you'd have to consider the whole language thing.
Definitely, yeah, you'd
Yeah.
have to. Also, that is another thing to mention about Germany, which was really cool, especially in Munich and like for engineering and stuff. There was actually quite a few companies. Like I went to their like careers fair,
Mm.
and there were quite a few companies that were like, yeah, actually, we hire people who don't like really speak German, like who speak
Mm.
English. Other companies were like, we would want you to have a bit of knowledge. Some companies were like, no, we need you to be like fluent. So I would say don't disregard working or studying abroad because of a language. Like there's definitely
Cool,
opportunity
cool,
for
cool.
English speakers.
So I hope you enjoyed Timmy talking about her study abroad. If you didn't, maybe you're a year in industry gal or guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, without further ado, if you made it to this point in the video, wait, do you want to say it with me? Okay, so Temi is my friend, and it's clear she doesn't watch my videos. But that's okay. The friendship is still intact. It's okay. It's if you made it to this point in the video, good on you, good on me. Let's keep doing this. She's lying. She didn't know it. Anyways, okay. So if you made it to this point in the video, good
Good
on
on
you,
you.
good
Good
on
on
me.
me.
Let's keep doing this.